Sleep. In a moment you're gonna find you're gonna cancel on your boys, you're gonna go to dinner with me tonight, eyes open wide awake.
Gave everyone a relaxing chant with repetitive rhyming, and once a majority of them had been taken hold,
do I know you?
Just relax. Sit down. Relax.
You will do exactly as my voice tells you. Hit the like button, subscribe, then ring the bell.
What? How?
Have you ever wondered what it would be like to have a hypnotist for a
And
girlfriend?
I want you to notice now how your confidence is rising up.
Hey, babe! What are you doing?
Kurt, I'm filming a TikTok.
Cool! Hey, Kaylin! Alright, or just ignore me. That's rude. Yes! Nice!
Babe, we're supposed to go to dinner tonight.
Oh, sorry. I'm really busy.
Sleep. In a moment you're gonna find you're gonna cancel on your boys, you're gonna go to dinner with me tonight, eyes open wide awake.
Hey, guys, I gotta go. What time did you want to go to dinner tonight?
What the? Kurt, weren't you supposed to do the dishes today?
Oh! Do you think you could just do them? Ah! Did you just make me...
Thanks, I appreciate it. Oh, babe, wait! Look! I'll be right back. Excuse me, sir. Would you like to quit smoking today with hypnosis?
Literally every time. Babe, he doesn't want to quit!
Hey, I'm gonna order Starbucks. You want any?
Don't worry, I got this. Hey, babe!
Yeah, what's up?
You remember to forget and you forget to remember that you're going to Starbucks right now.
Hey, I was gonna go to Starbucks. Did you guys want anything?
Sure, babe, thank you so much. I want you to meet Kaylin, she's a magician!
Wow, are all of your friends magicians and mentalists?
Well, you know, we just get each other.
Yep. And if you hurt her, I might just make you disappear. Hey, Maggie,
Hey.
this party is so lame.
I know.
Do you think you could hypnotize me to think I'm at a One Direction concert?
Sure. Sleep, you are now at a One Direction concert.
I really want my sister to get a good impression of you.
Don't worry, I'll make that happen.
Wait, what does that mean? No, you will not hypnotize anyone.
Hi, Maggie! So nice to meet you. I think we will get along just well.
Got it.
Thank you.
Open the door!
And wide awake, back to me.
What? I don't think that worked.
You should watch this.
Oh my gosh! No! How did this happen? We can do this. It's just a couple of pills. Oh!
Babe, I can help you with that. Give me your arm.
Okay.
And sleep. Now in a moment you're gonna find you are not afraid of swallowing pills anymore. 3, 2, 1, eyes open, back to me.
Oh my gosh! I did it!
Well, I just think all hypnotists are lame magicians.
It's all fake. I can't be hypnotized.
Well, there are a lot of fakes out there, but I am real.
It's just stupid magic.
Well, hypnosis is based off science, and science is magic. I wonder what I should get. All of it sounds so good. Kurt!
Well, sorry.
Sleep. Now in a moment you're gonna find you have only eyes for me. I'm the only beautiful girl you see. Every time you look at another girl, you're gonna only think about me. Eyes open, wide awake.
Oh my gosh, that girl looks just like you. She looks exactly like you. I gotta go take a...
I think that they ask me the most is this: what's it like to date a hypnotist? Well, I'm very married, but it is a fun little bit, and it's easier for me to show you than to tell you.
And now I want you to imagine you are more comfortable than you've ever been before. The weight of the world has been completely lifted from your shoulders. And now that you are in your most soothing state, I want you to open your eyes. Movies have seen their fair share of gimmicks, but acclaimed director Werner Herzog assures us this was no gimmick. In his 1976 cinematic experience, Heart of Glass, the filmmaker hypnotized a majority of his actors before every single scene, and even considered hypnotizing the audience as well. The film is about a small Bavarian village renowned for its glass blowing, but when the foreman dies, the town realizes he never revealed his secrets to creating these ruby glass masterpieces. Thus, the town slides into a deep, dark depression. Trust me, when you see the film, you are never going to wonder who is under the director's hypnotic spell. The reason behind doing this isn't to have complete control of the actor, though. It's the exact opposite, in fact. Welcome to Nocturnal Horrors. I'm Sean Mazral, and today we're going to be discussing the behind the scenes of Heart of Glass. We'll see examples of Herzog working with his actors, some of who take to the hypnotizing, and those who supposedly don't. We'll see just what makes Herzog so different from every other director, and see how strange it is to make a film that I believe should be an absolute cult classic, but sadly has fallen under the radar.
I shouldn't make movies anymore. Should go to a lunatic asylum.
You need money to fund a movie, and Herzog needed money. One of his options wasn't necessarily the right one, but he tried it anyways. A producer owed Herzog a lot of money, and so Herzog did the obvious. He grabbed 2 rifles and his production manager and drove to the producer's house. He picked the lock, stormed inside, ready to demand his money. Unfortunately for the director, no one was home. Luckily, Heart of Glass was still funded. Herzog placed a classified ad in his local paper for volunteers to participate in a hypnosis experiment and to eventually be hired for a film. About 70 people from all walks of life gathered in the back of an Italian restaurant. Hypnotist Thorwald Deathlesson gave everyone a relaxing chant with repetitive rhyming, and once a majority of them had been taken hold, Herzog told everyone to look into each other's eyes and describe what they were seeing. Secondly, he also had them watch and experience the repetitive opening of his film, Fata Morgana. Finally, Herzog told them to propose any invention they could come up with. He selected who he wanted to be used as actors, many of whom had never acted, and promptly fired his hypnotist for being too full of new age bullshit. Like any good director, Herzog declared he would do the hypnotizing himself. According to the director, quote, Heart of Glass is meant to convey an atmosphere of hallucination, of prophecy, of the visionary, and of collective madness. The hypnosis will be done for reasons of stylization and not for reasons of manipulation. We are fascinated by seeing people on screen as we've never seen them before. This use of hypnosis could give us access to our inner mind, starting from a new perspective. End quote. At one point, Herzog did not want the audience to know that the actors had been hypnotized. Then, he considered having himself do a prologue for the movie, putting the viewers into hypnosis before watching the film. And then he would do an epilogue, snapping the viewer out of the trance. Nevertheless, he decided that last idea was stupid. He aimed for a specific stylization through hypnosis that would encompass the collective madness of the small Bavarian village. The first scene to be shot was a small scene with the factory owner, played by 21-year-old Stefan Gutler, at Castle Walchsing. And then, Herzog began the process. He told his actor that he was feeling very tired, his head was heavy, and his soul was empty. He told his actor the only way to soothe this awful feeling was to rub a handkerchief on his heart. The actor's eyes finally opened, seeming completely hollow. The director nodded at his cameraman, who quickly began to roll. Filming the scene, a fly continually bothered the actor, take after take, even with Herzog trying to politely shoo the fly away. At lunch, writer-director Alan Greenberg met up with the actor and his girlfriend. They told Greenberg the hypnotism didn't work. He was simply acting hypnotized. He felt ridiculous. And the girlfriend flat out said, quote, "Herzog is wrong." And then the actor talked about how he was tired because he didn't get much sleep the night before. He had dreamed that a fly kept buzzing in his ear. And flies truly disturb him. But there were some who absolutely loved being hypnotized. Wilhelm Friedrich was a non-actor that Herzog found through the classified ad. And although he did attempt to flee from filming, only to be found hiding out in the mountains, Friedrich's performance is one of the many that simply cannot be forgotten. When Friedrich was under hypnosis, he seemed to truly be in his happy place. According to Greenberg, any time Herzog would snap him out of it, he would have this extreme look of fear and utter anguish in his heart, and at times even thought he was dead. Every actor seemed to respond to hypnotism differently. There was a harp player who was afraid of being hypnotized, so he asked if he could have his girlfriend in the room with him during his scenes. Herzog agreed, and as the director started his magical spell upon the actor, the girlfriend ended up hypnotized first, and proved to be no real help. The glass blowers in the film were never hypnotized because it was too dangerous for them to be under while working. The other person who was not hypnotized at all was the man who had to fight an imaginary bear of all things. The character of Hias is the Bavarian equivalent of Nostradamus. Herzog needed his look to always be penetrating, as he was the seer of the future and had to feel completely different from the village people, seeping into madness. Bottom line, filming is difficult no matter if it's a small budget or a large budget. For every scene that worked to perfection for Herzog, like his bizarre bar fight where his actor never felt being hit in the head repeatedly, even though he wound up bleeding after a take, and for every line of dialogue that came out of being hypnotized, like, quote, "Why can't we drink the moon?" end quote. There were also always complications. Like when he had an entire bar hypnotized, but also needed to speak to the cameramen. He would tell his shooter to take one step left, and unfortunately, every single person under his spell would listen and move one step to the left, and then he'd have to reposition everyone all over again. Herzog was forced to alter his voice when speaking with the crew versus speaking with the actors. The hypnotized also had a tendency to go too far under, like lost souls clueless of where to go or what to do. Many times these actors would make no movements and speak no words and look completely empty. Anytime this occurred for longer than 60 seconds, Herzog would have to take them out of their trance and then re-hypnotize them. He said it would only take 10 to 15 seconds though to get them back into it. The film is as abstract as they come. Do not expect a normal viewing experience here. Even though Herzog decided against his prologue of putting the audience under, do not be fooled. He definitely attempts to hypnotize you with his pacing of shots, outdoor visuals, the pop-a-vu music, and the dialogue. Werner Herzog is a different breed of director. He is a director who believes that filmmakers who rely on editing are cowards. He doesn't believe in close-up shots because it is a violation of the actor and despises storyboarding. He doesn't believe in building character arcs because he says his characters have no shadows because they have no past. The most it has ever taken him to write a script was 9 days, and that was too long according to him. Heart of Glass is like nothing you've ever seen before. And I'm not necessarily saying that's a good thing, but it's important that you know that going into this. The bottom line is, this is so very different from any other film. Herzog realizes that, and he says himself, it's probably too slow-paced for most audiences, definitely American audiences who are not used to this sort of rhythm. Personally, for me, it was very difficult to get through the first time. I may or may not have fallen asleep. Or maybe I went into one of those trance things and then, there was no one there to snap me out of it after 60 seconds. Could have been it. But since that first viewing, I've watched it 3 times now. It just kind of stays with you. Like, it just keeps popping in your head at random times, at the most random of times. For a director whose films are mostly his own style of documentary, Heart of Glass feels off. But this film is off. It's supposed to be off. I mean, this guy found hundreds of dead flies in one room of the castle where they shot. He refused to film in that room and made sure no one disturbed their slumber. It was their sort of cemetery. But people did disturb them, and he went into a fit of rage. This is Werner Herzog.
If it was necessary to climb down into hell and wrestle a film out of the claws of the devil, I would do so. Yeah.
But for all his eccentric behaviors, he still shows us new perspectives with new images unlike anything you've ever dreamed up. And it's a shame that more people don't at least know about this film, because it should be an absolute cult favorite. Werner Herzog is a master filmmaker who goes by the beat of his own drum. A man who constantly searches for the human soul and has looked for it in every bright and dark corner of the world by any means necessary. But seriously though, it's so bizarre, you have to check out Heart of Glass at least once. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed this, please consider subscribing, liking, and commenting. Also, if you want to look further into Heart of Glass after you've watched the movie, I highly recommend Every Night the Trees Disappear by Alan Greenberg. It's a book about the making of this film, as well as the audio commentary by Werner Herzog for this film.
Face to face with Candyman for the first time. On a side note, just how haunting is Todd's voice? Virginia Madsen herself appears to be under a trance. Well, in actual fact, she was. Director Bernard Rose wanted to avoid the usual horror movie cliches of seeing characters screaming all the time, and for the presence of Candyman to be so overpowering that it hypnotizes Helen. Well, behind the scenes, a hypnotist was hired, and he did indeed put Virginia Madsen into a trance. Before the cameras would roll to shoot the scene, the hypnotist would hypnotize Madsen, leaving her in a trance state, along with a word being chosen to snap her in and out of the trance. Rose even tested this out one day on the set, and randomly called out the word, and sure enough, it put Madsen into a trance-like state.
You know, everybody knows the creepiest thing was that Bernard hypnotized me. And he did. See, I was a very young actor at that time.
Do I know you?
So we went to a hypnotist, and I said, you know, I'm not going to be a good subject for hypnotism. I mean, it's hard enough for me to even meditate. And then the next thing I know, I'm having this conversation with the hypnotist, and at some point, I realized that my arm was like this, and I have no conscious memory of putting my arm up. And I was like, no, that's super creepy. Let's do it again. When Helen, falls under the spell of Candyman, my whole face would look different and quite beautiful. And they would put more mascara on me, but something was unusual in the way that my eyes looked in those moments in the film, and that was because I was in this kind of hypnotic state. I won't do that ever again on any film, so don't ask.
Twirling his hair going, more blood, more blood, more blood, madness.
How does somebody react when they see the monster? Are they going to be like Fay Ray and go, It's very annoying to watch people screaming. It's a fucking horrible noise, too.
I came for you.
How do you really respond to an alien creature
Do I know you?
Bernard came up with the idea that for any scenes where Virginia was going to come into contact with the Candyman, he decided that it was best to actually hypnotize her.
When she saw him, she would be hypnotized, like as if in a trance, as if no longer really in the real world.
We went to a hypnotist, Bernard and I.
He indeed put her in a trance, and while she was in the trance, he gave me a key word. If I would say the word to her, she would slip back into the trance. 2 days later, I just tried it to see if it would work, and lo and behold, it did. She went.
Bernard, I think, didn't know whether I was just getting really into character or whether he'd really been able to do it. And I think he finally realized when he had to, like, snap me out of it, because I was just sort of sitting there.
I went on set, and Werner said everybody has to be completely silent and everybody has to move down to that end of the set. Everybody, that means you, Mr. Producer. Werner was making gestures in the air in front of Virginia.
Once he would start hypnotizing me, I was not very aware of my surroundings. I really couldn't see the crew. I could see the lights, and all the lights became very, very blurry because my pupils would be dilated. And pretty much the only thing I could hear was Bernard.
So in those scenes, if you look at her eyes don't blink, and they go completely red. She's in a trance. There was, I think, one day where she didn't really remember the entire day of shooting. And I think that pissed her off a little bit, so she didn't want to do it after that.
Keep away from me!
By the end of it, I was like, you know what? I can't do it anymore, Bernard. Don't come near me with that look on your face, because I'm not going on. Next time on Hypnosis in the Media.
Just look at my ring, Jonathan. Whatever happens, keep looking at my ring.
Now, I'd like you to close your eyes.
I want you to tell me everything that happened that night.
Thanks for watching until the end. If you want to see more, just hit the subscribe button.
I hope you enjoyed this episode of Hypnosis in the Media. I'm Meg Register, a certified clinical hypnotherapist, as well as an advisor to the series. If you're interested in learning more about hypnosis, I welcome you to contact me for a free phone consultation to find out if hypnotherapy can work for you.